Hello and welcome to the Bus Hollman Show, episode 9. Haven't done one for a fortnight. Been busy, school holidays. I've got the grandkids with me at the moment, so they could be popping into the frame at any time. But yeah, been back to Bundertown, been a bit in trouble, so been a bit busy. So catching up again. Make sure you stay on the tips. Tips are going really well. I heard from what's his name, Boris Solid Arms over at Gunnedah with all the mining boys over there that listen to the show. So big shout out to all the coal miners over there around the Gunnedah way that religiously listen to the show. I heard the boys had a huge win on Coolachi there a couple of weeks ago. The boys topped up on that. Yeah, so got a couple of really good tips for today, so stick around for that. Got our craft beer special one this week and a spin out one too. A real spin out beer. A beer that was put on by another miner, a red dirt miner over in Cobar. Balloon-faced Saw put me onto that. Anyway, it's the Bus Hollman Show. We got a lot to get through today. Origin, what's pissing Bus off, what's Bus been up to, foot and hamburger challenge, we got a lot. Politics, Albo's pissing the fuck off me out me. But anyway, the Bus Hollman Show. Remember, money don't make you happy, but it'll buy you a fucking big boat and put big titties on your missus. Giddy up, boys. Here we go. Our craft beer. Let's kick it off with our craft beer. Here it is right here. I'll tell you what, it's a solid one too. It's the first time I've had a 500ml can. Now, Balloon-faced Saw put me on this from over at Red Dirt Gold Mine over there in Cobar. And this is Nam Alley Premium Lager, brewed in Quang Nguyen Province, Vietnam. 4.5% alcohol, 500ml fucking cans. Oh, this could be a... Look, I don't know how I'm going to be. The show takes a couple of hours. I've only got 4 of them, but they're 500ml. I've had a couple of blackfish before I started. I was talking to the Paru Pirate. He told me, he said, Bus, he said, you got to slow down drinking before you start. You can't have a few beers, then do your craft beer, because by the end of your show, we really don't understand a lot about the fuck that you're doing. So I've taken that advice on board, Paru Pirate, and I have chosen to ignore it. So, sorry about that there. So, let's have a look at this here, because we'll see how it goes. Nam, 500ml. That's a lot to scull on the first beer. A little bit darker than what I thought. I remember last week when I was telling you about that beer last week, and I said it had that smell about passion fruit. I chased it up during the week, and it has actually got, like I said, I don't know. I don't even taste them before I try them right here. Don't do no search or anything like that there, but it did have it actually said in its makeup that it has passion fruit over. I knew I could smell fucking passion fruit in it. Had to pull out the big pint glass today. So there he is, Nam beer. Let's have a smell of him. It smells like beer. There's nothing different, nothing's grabbing a man, nothing's coming out. Anyway, we'll get it into us and giddy up and see what it's like. Oh, it's not bad. It's a lot for a 500ml can, but it's not bad. I'll give it a go. We'll see how that progresses through the afternoon session. Friday afternoon session. Try and have it out tonight for you, if not in the morning. Make sure you get up. So I've got some good tips, as I was saying. Anyway, the craft beer segment 8. Remember, we judged on stars. 1 star means I will not have it again. 2 stars, I would drink it to fit in a crowd. 3 stars, I would go, I'd order it. I'd order it if it was there. 4 stars, I'd go deep on it. I'd get into it. You get a 5 stars, and I think we had a 5 stars a couple of weeks ago. You get 5 stars, it's Charlie Pride time. Giddy up, Charlie Pride. Tell you what, I've been drinking a lot of that Traveller beer. That's my go-to beer at the moment. I've changed over from Blackfish, but it's just too dear. $80 a carton. Fuck me. Let's get into last week's games with the NRL. Of course, Origin. Fuck, you know what? We got to stop. I'll tell you what we got to do for a start. Let's get into Origin before we go on to last weekend's games. But I'll tell you something about Origin. We got to stop giving a fuck if we offend Queensland or not. We had that big fucking drama over fucking Billy Slater getting called, what did he get called, a fucking dog or something? I don't know what he got called. We called him something there. Aaron Woods did there, and they were in an uproar about it and went on fucking ridiculous. These are the same commentators and ex-footballers that said how boring Origin had become and how there was nothing left in football to do. And we go out and do that there, and then they all start criticising him, saying, how dare he say that about Billy Slater, called him a grub. And then leading into the third one, everyone was like, oh, we don't want to say nothing, we don't want to upset Queensland, we don't want to give them something that's going to burr them up, we don't want to give them ammunition. Mate, you should fucking know by now, Queensland don't need fucking ammunition. Every year, here's the thing, I don't give a fuck who they got in their side, or who New South Wales got in their side. I don't give a fuck if Queensland's got fucking 12 Australian players and New South Wales got 5. I don't care. Because every fucking year, Queensland are going to say they're the underdogs. Every year. And the commentators also are going to say how good New South Wales. He don't give a fuck what you say or what you do. That's the scenario that's going to happen at every single fucking Origin. The only time it changed was last year when Madge Maguire had the fucking balls, to actually put a little bit of pressure on Billy Slater. And how did Billy Slater go? The big fucking grub sook couldn't handle it. It literally started quivering lip on TV and got upset, and that flowed through to the team. So that's what we should be doing. Don't give this fuck about upsetting them and too frightened to say anything. No, they are whinging big note and led by fucking Gordon Tallis. So there you go. So if you want to win Origin, stop worrying about giving them fucking ammunition and just call them out on shit. Call them out on the way Billy Slater, and he was a grub. Let's not hide that. The cunt was a grub. Say it loud. Say it proud. That's what you got to fucking do. Now, my take on Origin. Game 3, outcoached. Game 2, goal kicking cost us, but it might have covered over how bad we actually did play. I know we scored more tries in the second Origin, missed a lot of goals. I think this really showed up. We were outcoached. I know I just run Billy Slater down. I know, but I always give credit where credit's due. He outcoached Laurie Daly. Now that's simple. Laurie Daly had no idea how to use his bench, when to put him on, when to pull him off, who to bring on, who to bring off. I could go through it on like how he done it. Not starting with Lenu and then bringing Connor Watson on with only like 10 minutes to go. Game's already over by then. You pick Connor Watson in the side because he's quick out of dummy half. He can light up the field. He can make something happen out of nothing. Mate, he should have been on 10 minutes before half time. Queensland picked Pappy because they wanted to win that first 20 minutes. Mate, shove it back into him. Start with Lenu. Put Lenu on the run onside. Fuck him. Shove it back into him. But no, bringing Lenu on with 8 minutes to go in the first half? No, mate, he was out fucking coached. And the other thing I'll say, to give Billy Slater a bit of credit, at least Billy Slater had the balls to make the big calls. Dropping Cherry Evans, bringing 2 very inexperienced centres into the side. But I'm doing my podcast. I told you not to be singing out to me because I'm doing it. So what did you want?
They're not biting.
What's happening?
Ben's biting.
Ben's biting who?
The dog.
See, last week the cunts are barking, now they're biting the people now. This is what I'm putting up with my dogs. Girls, go and throw a rock at the cunt. I don't care, get a stick, get a rock, throw it at Benji, make him. I don't care if you cartwheel him over the fence, okay? But don't let him, he don't run the show around here, you run the show. You're the boss, okay? Daisy, you're the boss. Tell that motherfucker. Anyway, good on Billy Slater. He had the balls to make the big calls. And look, I reckon every other commentator, let's say commentator or coach or whatever, I guarantee, me included, you got to be honest about this shit. You got to be honest. Would have picked Reece Walsh to be full back over the hammer. 100%, but Billy never. Okay, give the man credit. Great job to that there. The other thing was, I think Laurie Daly had too many unfit players in his side. Couldn't train. That showed up in our defence and showed up in our tackle, in our attack. Couldn't do it. We can't do that again. I think that's something that will. And as good as what Payne Haas is, if you can't train, you can't play. To'o, same thing, and I think that really showed up. The combinations seemed to work better for Queensland than what they did for New South Wales. So, yeah, we've got to pick players that can train. The other big thing that I think really stood out was I don't think we give Mitchell Moses enough credit for how good he was. So, yeah, in game one, Mitchell Moses really stood up, and I think that took a lot of pressure off Cleary. Cleary's a long-term halfback. All this other talk going around him, that's total bullshit. Cleary's our long-term halfback, but I think he needs Mitchell Moses. And then we've got the other fella from Carter, whatever his name is, coming from the Dolphins. He'll be an Origin player in the next couple of years too. Anyway, that's my take on Origin. Let's go through the games for last week. Bulldogs 18 got beat by the Broncos 22. Seen that one coming, actually. I tipped that one. Bulldogs, I don't know if the Bulldogs can win again this week either. Raiders 28 over the Dragons 24. Get out of that, you cunt. Storm 26 over the Cowboys 20. West Tigers beat the Roosters 30-28. Come on, we nearly got out of that. We had 12 players out, 12 first graders unavailable. Mainly too good for the Rabbits. Look, the trouble with the Rabbits I hate to say, it's Bennett, your coach. You got a club that's running, I think they're running last, ain't they? Let's have a look at the table here. Official table after last weekend's game. Yeah, running equal laugh on 14 points with the Titans. And then you've got a coach that's coaching a side that's equal last, and he's putting his hand up to coach for Australia and go away at the end of the year for 2 months. Come on. I think South have to make a stand. I think Bennett might have fucking lost it. So, anyway, that's last week's games. What's Bus been up to? Been up to a fair few things. Got the girls up visiting Nam Beer. Nam Alley, buy a beer. It's a bit like a VB beer, actually. It is. Brewed in Quang Nong Province, Vietnam. I hope that's all that's in it. I hope there's no fucking bat piss in it. What's Bus been up to? Went to Moree, pick up the granddaughters during the week. Went and had a go in the hot baths. Never been to the hot baths in Moree, ever. And it was an experience. I might tell you about that later on. But, God, I never slept so well after being in the hot baths. Was on a promise. Never worked out. We'll have to talk about that later. Been doing a fair bit of fishing. Still got the mare up here. We had a couple of really good sessions, actually. Picked up a really good lure the other day. It's been working really well, so I'm going to give that a bit of a go. I'll show you it later. I've been up to rugby a couple of times, watching the boys play at Wollongbar. It's been going really well, leading the competition in both grades. Yeah, working hard. Fucking 3 days a week. It's knocking me around a bit. Played golf at Yamba, played the back nine 3 days ago. Shot 48, actually. I think it was my lowest score. I shot 48 out there. Tell you what I did, NAIDOC Day. Took the grandkids to NAIDOC celebration. First time I've actually gone to a NAIDOC celebration, believe it or not, since ever in Burke. Couldn't tell you how many I've been to in Burke. But same show. It was really good. They put on I don't know who organised it here in Yamba, but had a great day at Ford Park there. Jumping castles, rock climbing, Ziggy, you went to rock climbing? Yeah, rock climbing wall. A little girl went on rock climbing wall. That barbecue, sausage sizzle. Every cunt does a sausage sizzle. Tell you what I did the other day, it's just a special moment. And if you get it. But what I do is, during the summer, I always call down. I always go to work about an hour early, grab a coffee, go down and sit at one of the beaches, the main surfing beach. During the summer, everyone's out early catching a wave, so it's good to watch. But the whales are coming through. And I think it was on Wednesday, I drove in and grabbed a coffee and sat out, and the whales were in that close. Look, literally they were 200 metres from the shore, 2 football fields away. And the first time I've seen it live, literally live, but a whale done a full breach out of the water. His whole body was parallel to the water, and then this huge big splash. And I was 200 metres away. I've never been out whale watching in a boat, but I've been out in my boat and seen the whales, but I've never been out actually up close to them. So that's the closest I've been to a whale. But to watch it, and there was probably a crowd of about 20 or 30 people there, and you literally could hear everyone gasp as this whale came fully out of the water, like 100% of its body was out of the water. It got like parallel to the water and then just splashed down. It was literally amazing. One of the best things I've ever seen. It actually gives me cold shivers now just telling you about how fortunate I was to see that live. Yeah, so that's what's been up to. So let's move on. Politics. I've actually got a sourdough loaf in here at the moment, so I'm having to stop every 30 minutes to go and stretch and fold my sourdough. So I'm just looking at the clock here down here now. I've got 2 minutes to my next stretch and fold. So, you going inside? Okay. Politics. How can Albanese not have been to visit President? Now, I don't give a fuck if you hate Trump and you don't agree with what he does. And that's not the point. Albanese's there to support Australia. Every other president or prime minister in the world have been able to meet with him. That's just how the man works. Again, whether you agree or disagree, Albo is there to work for Australians, to work for us. That's how I look at it. Okay, it's like the police. The police are employed to work for us. Hospitals are employed to work because our tax dollars pay that. That's how I look at it. Okay? The arrogance of this man to not be over there knocking on Trump's door or trying to get a meeting to work shit out is mind-blowing. And the arrogance of the man to then basically downplay the relevance of Australia and America and their partnership, it's mind-blowing. And then to compound that, he's back in China this week. He's met Xi Jinping 4 times and hasn't met Trump once. And man, believe me, I'll tell you now, right now, Australia, this man and Penny Wongtong are leading us into a communist area. I'm telling you now, go back and look at Albanese's past as a Labor politician and a communist. I'm telling you right now, you just need to wake up and open your fucking eyes, because this is where we're fucking going. Look at I've read this report the other day about the amount of ships coming into Newcastle taking coal over to China. And I've told you this before. We're selling coal to China, who burn in the worst factories in the world, the worst polluted factories in the world. We got no problem with that. We send it over there. So Albo can get money to give back to people in Australia, communists. So everyone feels happy because he's giving them stuff for free. And yet we can't burn coal in Australia, and we have the best coal-fired generators in the world, but we're closing them down. That's my timer. I don't know if you see my timer going off. Yet we're sending them over to China. It literally doesn't make sense. And I think this is the bit that pisses me off the most, is that you see some of these things that are happening in the moment in Australia with power, with groceries, with fuel, with immigration, with housing. And as an ordinary person, the fixes are that simple. Like you see it, and such a shorting of housing. Stop immigration, or only let people that are legal to come into Australia that are going to help the community. All this racial violence that's happening against the Jews. Now, I'm not taking the side of anyone here. I don't care whether it's racial violence against Jews, Muslims, Christian. It has to be stamped out. It has to be stopped, and Albo hasn't got the balls to do it. But some of the fixes are so simple. It amazes me that no one's picked up on this and said, what are you fucking doing? My biggest argument, you've heard me say before, is our political commentators, our correspondents and our reporters. They just do not make them accountable. And when you hear them interview, and some of them try really hard to make them answer questions, but they just refuse to answer questions. Someone needs to stop and pull a politician. Pull a politician up. Don't care if it's a fucking prime minister or a minister or just a normal person that's won his seat. But they need to answer, because at the end of the day, they work for us, and they're asking questions that we want them to ask. So just pull them up and say, no, answer the question. I heard Albo the other day admonish a female reporter for asking him a question about a mosque getting, not a mosque, synagogue. Shut up, you cunt! Admonishing people about trying to burn down the synagogue, and he refused to answer. He talked in fucking circles. I think I'm a little bit smart. I couldn't understand a word the fucking cunt was saying. No, I'm sorry, but you've got to make them accountable. And these reporters, mate, stop worrying about getting invited around to a barbecue, and stop worrying about whether you're going to champagne and cocktails at Parliament House, and ask some questions that the fucking country want answered. Fair dinkum. I'm going to have a break. I've got to go and stretch my fucking sourdough. Oh, now, Mally, I'll tell you what, it's not bad. It's not brilliant. Look, it's not bad. I can see why Balloon-Faced Saul and the Cobar Prince, I can see why they all going over there. Big Russell the Tussle from Burke's been over there 3 or 4 times. I'm sure he's going to come back with a woman soon. What's pissing Bus off? I'll tell you what's pissing Bus off. And look, I've got my granddaughters here at the moment looking after him, so I shouldn't complain about this, but I had an incident the other day. I had a little boy, and he was little. I'm going to say it. He was chubby cunt. But he come over to my table having breakfast the other day, and and leaned over the table. I'm out on the sidewalk. So I like to sit out on the sidewalk when I'm having breakfast. Watch people walking past, have a little bit of a yarn, spin a yarn, and do all that sort of stuff. Spin a yarn. Wait till you see my top 5. My top 5 today are top 5 best yarn spinners from Burke that I've ever met. Top 5 best yarn spinners from Burke that I've ever met. But anyway, what's pissing Bus off? So they were his family was sitting at a couple of tables over from me. They had 3 kids. Eggs Benedict, extra bacon, always have a little bit of sourdough bread. I'm making sourdough as we speak, actually. I've just been ducking up every 30 minutes doing a bit of a fold. So I've got that going on. Anyway, Eggs Benedict with a slice of sourdough. I always have bacon, Eggs Benedict. Every now and then, if I know it's going to be fresh salmon, I'll have fresh salmon and Eggs Benedict. If not, I'll have bacon. And every now and then I might have a little hash brown. Maybe 2 hash browns. Okay, might have 2 hash browns and extra bacon and sourdough to have on the thing. But and the little fella was playing, I don't mind. But then when my meal come out, he came over and he put like his chin on the table, at the end of the table, and he sat down there, the little fuck, and giving me the fucking side eye as I'm trying to eat my fucking... And I felt guilty. But I kept on eating, obviously, but I was going to give him a little bacon, but I thought, no, mate, you can skip a meal. You don't need to have it all, you can skip a meal, so I never offered him any bacon. But I'm looking over his parents and they just let him go. Now, I'm not letting my kids go over to someone's table and stand at the table, chin on the fucking table, watching someone eat. I'm not going to do that. But they thought it was like, oh, look, he's so happy. He likes to see what you're eating. I give a fuck if he sees what I'm eating. He ain't going to eat the cunt. Chubby little fuck. Licking his lips with the side eye, looking at me. Like they're side eyeing. Trying to look for a bit of bacon, eh? He ain't getting no fucking bacon off me, I can tell you. Pull your kids back in. At mealtime, pull them fucking back in. I've already had to shoulder barge a few on the walking track out along the fucking wall. Don't make me fucking shoulder barge them at the fucking table when I'm having my fucking Eggs Benedict with bacon, 3 hash browns and a slice of sourdough. Tell you fucking right now. That's what's pissing Bus off this week. Fishing report, I'll tell you what, some big brim. I had a session the other day, me and the mayor, we went out. We thought, I know it's winter, but a few people from at where I work were telling us that they're catching a few flathead. Actually, I'll tell you a story. My mate at work, Pete the Meat. So Pete the Meat's just got a really good drone. And I've got to be honest, I was blown away by the cameras on, and they're fucking so little, the cameras on them. And they could show up so much stuff. Like, they could be 500 metres in the air and look at a logo on a surfboard. They can also see what sort of bikini your lady's wearing on a beach. I'm just saying, if you were that way inclined, that's what you could use them for. And I've seen them over, especially over at Shark Bay, where I go fishing at 10 Mile Beach over at Aluka. A lot of blokes, I've seen them sitting in a car, and they'll send the drone up along the beach looking for a bit of a gutter along the beach, and then they'll let their drone hover over it and drive up to it, and that's where they'll fish. So that's what I'm after, don't I? So I think I'm going to get Pete the Meat. I'm going to get him to help me try and find a really good drone. That's going to be my birthday present. But I was just blown away. Send them out to Pete the Meat was telling me that I think they can go out about, his goes out maybe 10Ks, 5Ks, and you can watch the whales and beaches and all that sort of stuff. I still can't get over the camera on how good the cameras were on Pete the Meat's drone. So I think I'm going to have to get myself one. I really do. Yeah, so anyway, back to where I was saying. So a few blokes have been catching some flathead up in the lake. And they were working hard for them. I'm not saying they were easy, they were working hard for them, but I thought I'd give them a really good go. Went up to the lake, had no fucking luck at all. Got a lot of little brim, a couple of little chomper tailor, but that was about it. So we come back and we started fishing the middle wall. And had a little back, got a couple of really small Jews, a 50 centimetre one and a 60 centimetre one. And we actually got them on, actually got it sitting on the table here. This little fella here, now he's a little, look here, a little bait junkie. But I seen someone on Facebook the other day, on a YouTube, using this fella. Look at him, he's got a little had a lot. So I was using it up at Ballina, along the wall at Ballina. Had a bit of luck picking up some Jewfish. So I got a packet and went out and chucked. Yeah, we picked up. So it was really good. Nothing was legal with the Jewfish, so I fished legally up here, not like Crooked Tooth Bar and the Red Coin and Krusty Trump back in Bundertown on Darling River. Boys, most illegal fishermen I've ever come across. That's why they're called the Outback Mafia. So we went out there, caught a few Jewfish, nothing that we could legally keep, but we went over and fished the Aluka wall, just with some really nice prawns that we got from Aluka Bait and Tackle. Big shout out to Ross there at Aluka Bait and Tackle. And we went over there and we got on some really good brim, fucking stonkers. Like, mate, they were like 35, 40 centimetre, big, thick back fucking brim. And we got about 10 of them between me and the mayor. And and it had a really good, got some really great fillets off them, so some really good brim over on the thing. And then we grabbed a few beers 2 days ago and just went up one of the little creeks over there fishing that coming off the Clarence on, I think it was Palmer's Islands Creek, and sat there and we caught 20 catfish. I don't give a fuck about it, but they put up a fight, catfish, catching them on a little bit of live bait. Yeah, and the boys and inland, I know the fishing's pretty weak along the Macquarie, but they're catching a good yellow belly on and little live yabbies all the way up to out to Louth and to you keep going, you cunt, you cunt! You cartwheel over the fence, you cunt. Come here! He'll be on a hook one day for a shark, just can't tell you right now. They're catching yellow belly out around Louth and Tilpa right at the weirs on worm and little yabbies. You can get some little yabbies. So had the hamburger challenge. Let's move on to them. What are you doing, bub? Give your shoes. Won't be long now. Pop nearly finished. Drinking this Vietnam beer. It's going down pretty good too. What do you reckon?
Why are you drinking?
Oh, let's just Vietnam beer. Hamburger report. So, had a hamburger during the week at the Chatsworth Island store. Beautiful little store. Great breakfast there, by the way. But I thought I'd go there for lunch and have their hamburger challenge. Have their hamburger and see what it's like. And I've got to be honest, it was pretty damn good. The Chatty store's right on the banks of the river. So I think it's the north arm of the Clarence River. And great old couple from out of Charleville actually own it. It's called the Chatsworth Island General Store. So I had a beef burger there, $24. Yeah, not bad. Beef patty, bacon, egg, cheese, tomato, beetroot and lettuce. Now I had one the other week at the Wobbly Chook and they had caramelised onion and beetroot on it. So it was very similar except for those two ingredients. But I'll tell you what, they had a great little, it was like a green pickle thing on it, which was really nice at the Chatsworth store. I really liked it. It was on the only thing again, I'd like a big sourdough bun. These were big, like a buttermilk bun, which was nice. I actually would like them toasted, to tell you the truth. Let's go through the scores. The whole experience was pretty good. They've got a great little bench. It used to be an old service station. So a couple of old bowsers out the front, overlooking the north arm of the river. There's wild geese running up the street there at Chatsworth, so it's great to go and take your kids if you want to go for a look. So as I said, the price is $24, which is pretty reasonable, though they're a handful of chips. And I'm not talking fucking, what's his name, fucking old mate out there at Cobar with his fucking big mitt arms, used to wicket keep with no gloves on. What was his name? Stuart Lever. Old mate Lever out there at Louth used to wicket keep for Louth, no gloves. His hands were that big. I'm sure they were webbed too between them, but his hands were that big. Never needed gloves to wicket keep. Lever, that was his name. I'm sure it was Lever. Anyway, I don't even know how I got onto that. The presentation, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The size, as I said, not a lot of chips. The chips really let it down. Only 7 out of 10. But it tasted good. Everything was cooked magnificently. The salad was fresh. Can't complain about that. 9 out of 10. The hamburger experience, I had on a little veranda out the front overlooking the river. 8 out of 10. So I'm going to give it a grand total of 36 out of 50. Good experience. I'll tell you what, go there and check it out. It's great. But a little bit of, I like the sourdough buns. With me sourdough that I'm cooking today while we're here talking, the Bogan Princess from Narramine's helping me a little bit with my sourdough. I've had a little bit of drama with my sourdough. I've given it a few goes and I can't seem to get it to work properly. But the Bogan Princess at Narramine's giving me a little bit of a hand. And it looks as though I'm being a little bit too quick on it. I've got to slow down, maybe let it ferment a little bit more. And that might be my issue at the moment with that there. Let's get on to punting. Let's get on to some punting and see how we're going to go into punting this week. And I'll tell you what, last week we had a good week. We got second. We had a second and a third. And as I was telling you, the boys out at Gunnedah had a real big pickup. They got onto me. They loved the show. And they got onto Cool Archie, I think it was. That they boys fucking put a big hit on that there. They will. The money they get, them cunts undermining my Narrabri underground. I'm going to call them the Narrabri underground gophers is what I'll call them. That's what they fucking are. The Narrabri underground gophers. They cleaned up on Cool Archie. So this week, we're going to Dooman. And Dooman Race 4, it's the Eagle Farm 160 Years of Eagle Farm Classic over 1,600 metres. It's at Dooman and it's the Eagle Farm Classic. Work that shit out. I'm going for number 10 Merchant Flyer. You currently get it for about $8. Now it's going really, strip's really fit. It's had 3 runs so far, so it's definitely getting into some really good form. Got a great barrier draw. It's dropped fucking 8 kilos from its last start. So I think that's a really good chance. So boys, get on that. Number 10 Merchant Flyer, race 4 at Dooman. We're going to stay at Dooman and we're going to go to race 7, the 4X handicap over 2,000 metres. I like a 2,000. The 2,000 metre race is probably my favourite race to bet on, because if you really do your form, you can have a lot of luck there on it there. And I'm going for number 14, Bengal Boy. Now, he's out of barrier 7, weighing in at 56 kilos. Now, last start, he actually got a second over 2,000 metres at Gatton. I reckon he can go one better. Now, Bailey Wheeler's whipping that motherfucker down the straight, and I hope Bailey whips the fuck out of him. You know how I feel about jockeys carrying a whip and not using it. But I reckon Bengal Boy's paying $10 at the moment, so jump on board that. Race 7, number 14, Bengal Boy. So there you go. That's the punny for it. Let's get on to a little bit of random shit. Took the granddaughters up to the butterfly bat factory during the week. You enjoy the butterfly factory? Tell me.
Yes.
Yeah, she enjoyed the butterfly factory. Seen the dinosaur display, the magic castle, the mirror pyramid, whatever. It wasn't exciting, but it was okay. I tell you what I did see was the ball baths at Moree. Wasn't no experience. Haven't been there before to the ball baths. Better go up there and see what your sister's doing. Pop's got to talk about some shitty on thing that you don't want to know about. Now, went to the ball baths. Now, we're going out to the ball baths, and I said to the missus on the way out, I said, listen, we're going to have guests in the house for a couple of weeks. I reckon we've got to go hard tonight at the motel, because I love a motel. I really love a motel fuck. So I said, let's go hard tonight, because we might be able to do it for a couple of weeks. Yep. She said, yep, let's do that. Oh, fuck me, dead. I was pumped up. Got out there, and they had the ball baths, indoor ball baths, 3 different pools, cold, medium, warm, and then hot. We spent 2 hours in there. I went back to the motel, and I was a fucking sleep after 5 minutes. The best night's sleep I've ever had. I was fucked. No action. Ball baths got me. I was gone. Do yourself a favour. If you're in Moree, go and check out the fucking ball baths. I'll tell you what, they were fucking great. I've only got one fucking beer left here now. Nam Alley, give it a go. Look, it's not brilliant. I'm going to give it, I'll tell you what, I'll go back and I'll rate it now. It's alright, but it's not fucking, it's not brilliant. I don't know what Balloon-Faced Saul and the Cobar Prince rated. 500 ml in a can, knocks you around a bit. I'm going to give it 3 stars. Because I would order again. If it was there, I'd have a go at it. It's not bad. You won't go deep on it. But it's worth a drink. It definitely is. I'm going to give Nam Alley. There you go. 3 stars out of 10. Where were we at? Just about through. Oh, Bus's top 5. Bus's top 5. Burke yarn spinners. In my time, my top 5 yarn spinners that I've come across, and I've told a few of their stories over the last 2 years, and I've got so many more, so I don't want to spoil them all. But here we go. We'll start at the bottom. We'll start at number 5. You got to give the Demery boys, the twins. I still can't tell them motherfuckers apart. I couldn't. Right up until when I left Burke, I couldn't tell them motherfuckers apart. But they had some yarns. Bad seas. Good hunters, good fishermen, bad seas. But geez, they had some yarns. I remember we'd sit around at the pub when I was a young fella on my push bike carrying SP bookmaking tickets for my old man. I'll tell you that story one day. He used to have the SP bookmaking at the old Federal Hotel and the Oxford Hotel in Burke. And I used to run the tab tickets around push bike back in the day. So anyway, the Demery boys were local legends, and fuck, they had some good yarns, the old Demery boys. I'm bringing them in at number 5. Number 4 of my all-time yarn spinners in Burke. You know what? I'm going to give this to Crooked Tooth Bart. Crooked Tooth Bart, he's the only fella I know, are you telling me? The only fella I know that caught 4 different things off the one fishing line. He was telling me one day he went out fishing and he had a little yabby, live yabby, threw it in the water, and where he was sitting was out of the place we all call the Black Rocks. big channel over the other side. So he chucked it right over the other side, little live yabby. And he was sitting there. And anyway, he went to bed because he weren't getting no bites. But during the night, a strange thing happened, he told me. He got up in the morning and across the other side of the river, his fucking springers just pulling in the water like that there, he had a fox. He had a fox running around the bank with his line from the other side of the river. And in the fox's mouth was a fucking pelican. And he's trying to get off because he swallowed a bit of the pelican and got it caught in his throat. So Crooked Tooth Bart had to swim across the fucking river, ripped the pelican out of the fucking fox's mouth. Fox took off up the bank. He had the pelican, only the neck. The body's laying on the ground. The neck's just laying like a dare, rolling around. But anyway, he pulled the line out, and inside the fucking pelican was a fish. And then inside the fish was a yabby. So he chucked the yabby out. The yabby caught a fish. The pelican ate the fish. The fox grabbed the fucking pelican. That's his yarn. He was telling me that. Crooked Tooth Bart. He's funny cunt. But he's my number 4. Number 3, Nuka. Oh, you can't beat Nuka out there. The only bloke who's retired 8 times. Same job, retired 8 times. But if you go out to the North Burke Hotel, I'll tell you what, if you want to yarn about the bush, you fucking chase up Nuka Harris in Burke. Brothers is a painter, not a good fucking painter, but a great bloke also. Drink a lot of piss. Nuka drives a bus in Burke. I don't know whether he's back at work or he's still retired. But chase up Nuka Harris. Number 2. My number 2 best yarn spinner in Burke. A little bit younger than me, this fella actually. The Chook. I'll tell you now, the Chook, he funny cunt. Was with me when I seen the Midnight, was with me when I seen the UFO. Stories I told you last year, but we might do them again. I've had a few people say, could I tell the stories again with YouTube so they could see it better with the thing. So Chook was with me when we seen the Midnight coming back from Gadooga. But one of the best yarns Chook had, we used to work at the Bakers together. We worked at the Bakers together for about 6 years early in the morning. Used to start at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, rough times. We turned up pretty rough at some of those there mornings. But Chook was late one morning. We were wondering what he was late for, because he's always fucking late. Told us he had to fight a kangaroo in the street on his way to work. He was riding his bike, coming to work. He would have been there time. He actually said he would have been 10 minutes early. And a kangaroo jumped out and knocked him off the fucking bike. Then he jumped up and tried to grip the bike. The kangaroo stand on top of the bike and started poking him, punching, bang, bang. He said he couldn't leave because he wanted his bike back. So we had to stand there and fight the fucking kangaroo. Fought the kangaroo for 38 minutes. He was 40 minutes late for work. But only fought it for 38 minutes, he said, but he's 40 minutes late for work. Yep. Chook Taylor, he's a second. Number 1 yarn spinner I've ever come across in Burke. And God rest his soul, Herbie Swinton. Fuck, he could tell a yarn, this fella. He could tell a yarn, he could drink piss and drive a truck. He was pretty fucking damn good. He was the bloke who went out to Keg O'Shanassy's one day. Keg rang him up and said, come out here, going to kill a bit of a beast. Come out here. And another bloke, God rest his soul, Bristle. Herbie and Bristle went out there. Went out to Kegs, out on the Colgo River. I think the property was called Mundawar. That's what it was, Mundawar on the Colgo River. Anyway, Keg had mustered during the week and had all the cows in there, all the cattle in the paddock. And Herbie took the rifle out, him and Bristle. They jumped up on top of the fence in the fucking yard. There'd have been a fucking 100 cows there. Anyway, they said, righto, Keg, which cow are we going to get? What are we getting here? And Keg said, we're going to get that cunt right over there. Herbie went, bang, shot the cunt down on the spot. Keg turned around and said, no, Herbie, you shot the wrong cunt. It's the one standing beside him. He went, bang, shot that cunt too. He had 2 dead on the floor. He knew what he was doing. We left one with Keg and we brought one home. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, my top 5 best yarn spinners in Burke. Number 5 was the Demery brothers. Number 4 was Crooked Tooth Bart. Number 3 was Nuka Harris. Number 3 was Nuka Harris. Number 2 was Chooky Taylor. Number 1 was Herbie Swinton. Let's get on to this week's games. We're going to finish it off. We're going to wrap it off. We were going to go on to a bit of sport and that other sport around the world, but fuck it, we won't worry about that there. So anyway, let's get on to this weekend's games and we'll wrap it up. We've got the Sharks and Dolphins tonight, Friday night. I'm still going to take an upset there. And is it an upset? I reckon the Dolphins should be favourite, but I reckon the Sharks can get up there and beat them. Storm will beat the Knights. That's tomorrow night. Dragons and St George tomorrow afternoon at 5:30. I think the Roosters can beat the Dragons. Bulldogs and Cowboys. I tell you what, I'm going to go and upset here. I reckon the Cowboys at home. If the Cowboys don't win, they're fucked, and maybe their coach is fucked too. So I'm taking the Cowboys. Warriors and Tigers. I like what the Tigers. I'm picking it up what they're throwing down. I reckon the Tigers can knock off the Warriors. Warriors only $1.40. Tigers in at $2.90. But I reckon the Tigers can get up. Eels and Panthers. I think the Panthers will get that one. Titans and Broncos. I think the Broncos too good. Anyway, I'm Bus Hollman. This is the Bus Hollman Show. Remember, pain goes away, chicks dig scars, but glory lasts forever. See you all next week. Catch us.
How you doing?